It's the first cool morning we've had without the sun blasting since I started this project. So we're using this pretty primed exterior grade plywood as decking, and you can see the contrast with this with the dark brown and the gray is really cool. Now when I come in here, you can see there are a couple nails too. It's one of the bummers about using a pneumatic gun. You know, you can shoot straight down, but the grain of the wood will pull the nail in a certain direction. So there's a few of those I got to hammer out. But this is going to look. Got two more pieces to put down right across here. So this stuff works out pretty good. With a fuel injection, 283 is my ounce of perfection. Somebody asked about this tool belt. This is a old, like over 30 years old Occidental leather setup that I have to do some repairs on. The tape measure holder never worked. It always blew out. I repaired it a couple times. I got to do some other stuff on it too. Last piece. Alright, so as I was up on that roof cutting that last piece of plywood, it reminded me of a story I figured I'd tell you guys real quick about cutting plywood when doing a roof. This is in New Jersey back, I don't know, it's probably like 88 or something, and 88, 89, in that range. This is Pepper. Pepper loves me. Anyhow, I was doing all these different jobs out of the paper, and I found this gig. I had to meet. I was living in Seaside Park, New Jersey, and I took this job where I had to meet all these guys at 5 a.m. at a mini mall in Bricktown, New Jersey. I didn't know any of these guys, and so it was a job in Newark. So we got in a van at 5 a.m. and we were taken up to Newark to build a McDonald's, which was interesting. You would think that would be a union gig, and there was probably a lot of union guys there. We might have been working under a union guy for all I know, but I wasn't union. It ran like a union job though, you know, forced breaks and all that sort of stuff. So there was this one guy that was there. I don't remember anybody's name anymore. I've been there for about a week. It was an interesting place to work, right? So it was funny because it was fenced in, had concertina wire. We had a 24-hour security guard that lived in a trailer, and in the mornings it was a black neighborhood, so all these little black kids would walk. What are you doing? All these little black kids would walk by as we're working, and they'd all flip us the bird, just for no reason, you know. And then you'd be sitting up on the roof of this thing. I saw it daily, usually multiple times a day. I see a car pull up, a bunch of young kids get out of it and steal a car. I'd watch them jimmy the lock and steal a car. And that happened every single day, sometimes several times a day. Hello, hello. Yeah. And it was wild. And so that was happening all the time. And then throughout the day, people would walk through the job site because it was open on both ends for deliveries and stuff like that. And guys would walk through trying to sell us car stereos. I'd watch people steal car stereos, break into cars, steal stuff, steal cars, all of that. Guys would walk through with tires, trying to sell us tires. And then there was women, $5 BJs in the dumpster. Not that I ever took advantage of that. I'm just saying they were offering that to guys on the job site. Some guys took advantage of that. And there was this one old guy that, got in the van with us every morning to drive up there. I don't remember his name. It took me a while to realize, but he was boozing. So he had like a Gatorade, but he was putting out vodka in it every day. So he was drunk. So, back then, I don't know what McDonald's looked like today, but back then they were block buildings and they had a little hip roof going all the way around them. And at certain times it come into a 90, right? So that's a kooky angle to cut. But you give me the measurements, I'm going to cut it exactly with the measurement that you give me. And this drunk guy is up there and he's giving me the measurements. And it's a weird triangle piece, trapezoid or some shit. But anyhow, I'm cutting the part and I'm tossing it up to him and he's handing it back down to me. Oh, you got to take more off here, take more off there. I'm like, what the hell, man? And he's yelling at me. And I'm like, dude, I can read a tape measure. I'm cutting it exactly where you tell me to cut it. And I'm not exaggerating. This happened 5 or 6 times. And I was getting extremely frustrated. I hate doing anything more than once. Just do it the right way the first time. Of course, I'm saying that. You guys know I laid the rafters out off for this tin up here, which is why we have the decking, which now looks a lot better. So it almost looks like it was planned that way, huh? So anyhow, this guy, he puts the piece in and there's these huge gaps everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, well, you don't know how to read a tape measure. He starts yelling at me like it's my fault. And being the younger version of me, I lost it. And I took my tools off and I ran around the back and I ran up that ladder and I started running for this guy because I was going to punch him in the head and throw him off the roof. That's what was going on in my brain. And the boss was up on the roof and he saw me going and I'm running and this guy came at me like a linebacker and tackled me on the roof before I could get to this guy and destroy him. That's how he just got me so angry. I was ready to kill him. They had to literally subdue me on the roof to keep me from ripping this guy's freaking head off. And I quit. And the boss was really upset. He says, I can't, well, didn't tell me I can't quit, but he really didn't want me to quit. He's like, you're the only guy here that knows what he's doing. It's going to really hurt the job if you quit. I said, well, then fire that guy. So I can't fire that guy. I need every guy I can get right now. I said, well, you lost me then. And that was the end for me with that job. So as I was cutting that last piece of plywood, that's what I was thinking about. Overall, this is coming out pretty good. Now that we have the decking, I gave her the option where she could have put the roll roofing on, but she wants the metal because she wants that look. And I'm going to try to, hit these rafters as much as possible because now with the overlap and with being on the deck, I don't have to necessarily put screws in line where the overlap is. So if I'm a couple inches over, it'll hold everything down. So I'm going to attempt that. I'm going to attempt to hit these rafters here with the screws so we don't have any poking through. But if we have a couple, I'll clip them just below and hopefully we won't notice it too much. But overall, as I said, this looks pretty good here. Pretty good look. Stick around, it's not over. Alright, so this material here is going to be, like I was saying, for this part that I'm going to cap. It's interesting framing that's going to happen here. We're going to have this material facing out, and I'm going to do, well, you'll see it. It's going to be a 2x6 frame with 2x4 framing inside, and then those panels are going to set inside the 2x6 frame, so it'll look real sharp. So it'll be double-sided. So that material will be on the inside, across here, and on the outside, which would be cool. Bought the metal roofing, and check this out. Well, boy, did I have it. So the other day when I made that video, when I talked about, you know, what did I talk about? The full moon and Mercury in retrograde and making the mistake. I didn't actually make a mistake. I just was looking at the metal wrong. Yeah, check this out. So, boy, it's gonna be hard to show you this. I was going from this point here to this point here. That's 21.5. But if I would have flipped it over, like this one is, and if I would have went from this point to this point, then we're 24 on center. And I got a little fudging. And what that means is I can do this. I wanted a double overlap when I was doing that, thinking for security with water. But what I'm going to go ahead and do on this is I'm going to put the piece down. I'm going to do it that way, 24 on center approximately, right? So we hit all these. And then in between each one, I'm going to run a bead of Henry's tar in a caulking gun. Right down that seam, put the piece on, put the screws in, and we're going to be golden. You know, I don't need to get super crazy with this. We bought a ladder, so it's a little safer now. Because it's getting a little sketch, man. So I went ahead and put tar paper down up here. I got my line snapped. And we're ready to go now. So it's way more robust than EV. I'll tell you what. People mentioned it. My initial design was to be just the metal. And the truth is, when I first put a couple pieces of metal up, I thought, yeah, it does seem a little flimsy, but it'll look cool. And then I thought that I had the metal wrong, which I didn't. And then my client was like, let's put the decking down. And I think I mentioned this already, but when I put the ledger board on, initially, the ledger board is this piece right here. So when I was about to put that on, it was supposed to be higher. And I thought, you know what, let me lower it as much as I can, right? Which again, gave a little reveal above the trim for the back door here, because I figured that would give me the room in case they ever wanted to put decking and then still put the metal roofing. I just thought to myself, just in case, I'll do that. And I did it. And then I made that little mistake with the metal, which now we realize wasn't a mistake. But that led us to buying the material to put the decking down. And now we have this, which I think you will agree was a better way to go. The universe wanted this to happen. That's all I'm saying. Go with the flow, man. And putting the paper down, again, you don't really need to in this situation, but it's a nice thing to do. Doesn't hurt anything. That much more of a vapor barrier insulation. A little less rattle noise, you know, with the metal. I'm going to have it secured. But you understand where I'm going with this. So that's it. It's Friday. I'm going to come back tomorrow morning and get this tin up, and I think I might be able to get it all up tomorrow. So wish me luck. That's it for now. You guys will get another video probably when it's done. Maybe I'll do a short if I get all the metal up tomorrow. But once I get this part in, then I'll kind of do a closeout video for you guys on this project. I hope you enjoyed the story I told you. Another one of my kooky stories. And that was an abbreviated version. I think it was only 6 minutes, so consider yourselves lucky. Oh, VA. I went to the VA for the hearing yesterday. It went good. I have a little loss on my right side. He's like, are you right-handed? Yes, yeah. He goes, well, you shoot your hand with your right hand. You shoot guns. That makes sense, blah, blah, blah. But there's nothing they can really do with the tinnitus. You know, it's just a hearing test. So, and Monday I go back to the VA again for a physical thing, but that has to do with my ankles. They probably want to see the surgery scar, and I have all my records from the Marine Corps, so I'm going to bring those with me. And I'm going to talk to them while I'm there and ask them what the story is with me being able to get any sort of medical benefits. Like, can I go in and see a doctor and get things looked at? I don't even know. This is a new process, so let's see what happens, and when I know, I'll let you guys know. Enjoy your weekends. I'll catch you on the next one. Be good to one another. Bye.